good to do that again. Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And I apologize ahead of time. My voice is a little bit hoarse, but I'm going to try to get through this as best as I can. The Bears football season is finally back. Even though it's preseason, the Bears football we get to watch is back as the Bears open up the preseason at home with a 19-14 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. And I will talk about all the things that happened in this game, what I saw, the things from my perspective. The Bears are coming out on top. But before I get into any thought of this video, make sure you guys leave this video a like, as it always helps this channel to grow. And if you are a first-time viewer and you are not subscribed, go ahead and click that sub button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But let's talk about this game. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Of course, the main thing that a lot of Bear fans, including myself, were keen on going into this game was how will the Bears offense look in live game action under new offensive coordinator Luke Getsy. And what I seen from him, and as well as Justin Fields, is promising. Number one, the main thing that I was really wanting to see is how Justin Fields was looking, and he looked solid. You can see some promise. You can see some growth between year one and year two. His reads were a lot quicker. He got down to his check downs whenever he needed to, which was a lot quicker. And he took off and used his legs when he needed to. He only had one carry for 10 yards, but that one carry was something that he needed to do, and he used his legs when he needed to. His passing numbers don't look nice. 4 for 7, 48 yards. I mean, that's pedestrian, but of course, it's just preseason. But what we saw, the throws he made to Tajae Sharpe, and Tajae Sharpe made an amazing catch. The ball he threw to Darnell Mooney was another beautiful ball. And you seen the growth of him hitting his checkdowns and pushing the ball down the field when he needed to. So, Justin Fields played solid for the couple of plays that he did play. Solid game. And overall, schematically, you love to see that the Bears roll Justin Fields out. You love to see the fact that the Bears utilized the screen game, which was a big thing missing last year from the offense. You can see them incorporate the two tight end formations, a lot of 12 personnel. So at the end of the day, you started to see Luke Getsy's implement on Justin Fields and this offense, and I liked what I saw. Of course, they didn't necessarily score on their drives, which of course you would love to see, but a lot of the players didn't play. Of course, you have Monty that didn't play. You have a lot of wide receivers that are down that they hold on to have some production, as in David Moore, N'Keal Harry is out, Byron Pringle didn't even play. So you had some injuries at that wide receiver position, which showed his lack of depth, for words, that the Bears had at that wide receiver position with all the injuries. Of course, you had Tajae Sharpe makes two amazing catches. Darnell Mooney with that catch from Justin Fields for 26 yards. And you had some promises with this offense. Of course, it's going to take a little bit for this offense to gel. Of course, you're learning to do things in game now. You have first year under a new system for Justin Fields, so he's adjusting to that in-game situations. So you're not going to have blockbusters right away. Now, defensively, it is the same thing. The Chiefs went right up and down the field and scored. But you have to think about it, the Chiefs have been in the same offense for years and years with Mahomes and those boys. They've been in the same offense. So it's not really an adjustment period for them. It's just getting more reps. Defensively, I like that they flew around. I like that they were getting pressure after whatever quarterback is in there. And this Bears unit overall, solid. Now, of course, the backup, Sanborn, had a very good game. You had another guy, and Matt Adams, who played really good football. But one thing did stand out for me defensively for the Chicago Bears, and that is Roquan Brisker. He was one of their second-round picks on the defensive side of the ball, along with Kyler Gordon, who actually didn't play in this game. But Roquan Brisker was a huge bright spot. He's not afraid to go in there and lay the wood on you, and that is one thing that I loved about him coming out of Penn State. He was a guy that is going to fly around. He's going to get to the football. He is a box safety. He played solidly in his NFL debut this preseason game. So he was the bright spot on this Bears defense. And a lot of things that I've seen with this defense is going to be an adjustment period for some of those incoming guys, like Robert Quinn. You have Travis Gibson, who was a stand-up backer. Now he's coming into a defense where he's got his hand down and he feels more comfortable that way. So for the most part, I like what I've seen from the Bears in both halves, even though they didn't really do much offensively. But it's going to take some time for this Bears roster to really gel offensively. And, of course, with all the wide receiver injuries, Montgomery didn't play. You had an offensive line, which is another thing that I'm going to touch on, that needs more time to gel. The offensive line for the Bears needs more time to gel. The offensive line needs more time to gel. I cannot stretch that enough. An offensive line is going to take a little bit for the unit to get used to each other. It's going to take a little bit for the unit to get those calls. But there is a little bit of a promise there. But the offensive line was one of the biggest problems last year. They still have some work to do. The Bears' offensive line still has some work to do. But they have some promise to continue to develop their core with each other and get better. And that is what it's all about at the end of the day, this preseason. It's just getting better. Of course, it is nice to see that the Bears win. Of course. Who doesn't want to see their football team win whenever they step on the field? But the main thing that you need to look for, of course, in preseason is how everything looks. The Bears are flying around the football. Special teams looks nice. They created some takeaways on defense. Offensively, you could tell that the scheme has changed. You could tell they implemented more of the screen game. Even though it wasn't always successful, it was something that Luke Getsy did not get away from. You could tell that they like to implement the outside zone running game, more of the play action game, and Justin Fields, you can see more of the rollouts. So at the end of the day, I don't really care about the stat lines. I don't really care about the score so much. But it is nice to get a win. It's just how everything looks. And you can see growth, but you also can see places where the Bears need work. Of course, a lot of their players didn't play defensively. And of course, some players didn't play offensively. But at the end of the day, the first preseason game is more about implementing your scheme, implementing your system, implementing the things that you do, the in-game adjustments, the things that you do inside of a game. And from what I see, I like what they're trying to do. Guys flying around the football, guys creating takeaways, guys playing hard, and that's all you want to see. And that is why they were able to come back with 19 unanswered points in the second half and pull out a victory. So overall, I liked what I saw from this Bears team. Of course, it's still more room to grow. You have another Thursday night preseason game next week against Seattle. And I'm just looking forward to see how things are going to look from preseason game 1 to preseason game 2. But it is always good that the Bears can win a football game. They win 19-14. That's about all I have. This voice is getting on my nerves now, and it's probably getting on y'all's too, so I'm going to just shut up. But at the end of the day, Bears win. And that's all I've got. Make sure you leave this video a like, as it always helps the channel to grow. Comment your thoughts about this Bears preseason game down below. And as always, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the content. But I'm APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Peace.